Hi, I am Jessica Weaver, and I am not your father's advisor. I'm a wealth advisor who works with women going through a transition, and I have a great bonus for you. Look who's here with me. My father, Dan Ferran, CEO, founder of Ferran Financial Group, who I joined 8 years ago.
Well, thanks for having me, Jess.
Yes, thanks for being here. We want to talk about the top retirement mistakes that we've encountered. And he's been doing this for over 35 years. I've been doing it for over 8 years. We run how many retirement seminars now?
We run 4 a year.
4 a year for the past 6 years, so you can do the math on that one. So, boss, what is a top retirement mistake that comes to mind when you meet with people in retirement?
Well, first one is spending.
Yes.
People go into retirement thinking they're going to spend less. Then they have all this free time and they want to go on trips and help their kids. And before you know it, we have to rein them in and tell them you're going to run out of money.
And that's not an easy conversation to have.
Not at all.
We just had a couple in, and they have a trip for every month for the next 2 years because they're in a retirement community. So their neighbor, their friends down the street, they're all inviting them on all these trips, and they all sound so amazing. But you have to make sure you're not jeopardizing tomorrow by overspending today.
That's right. And people get wrapped up in it, and then they feel pressure. They got to go on the trips. Everyone else is going on it, so I'm going to go on it as well.
Exactly. What is number 2?
Number 2 is no planning. We tell people they should do a dry run before they go into retirement. What does it look like? Hypothetically, if I did retire, what's it look like with my Social Security, my pensions, my assets? What's inflation going to do to me over time? So that's a very important issue. Most people are not doing that. And by doing it, it'll give you a better sense of how much you really can spend.
Yes, so it's projecting out what the next 20, 30, 40 years is going to look like,
Right.
Spending that. But it's also good to try and spend that money while you're still working. You're going to tell us that you only need $30,000 to live on in retirement. All right, I'm going to test you and see if you can do that now. Can you live on just $30,000 each year? In New Jersey, probably not.
Probably not.
Probably not.
Probably not.
What is the third mistake?
Third mistake, we see a lot of people listening to their neighbor, relative, coworker for advice. Well, my neighbor took Social Security at 62, so I'm going to. Or my neighbor's waiting till 70, and that's what I'm going to do. Versus doing a dry run, plugging in when would be the optimal time for those people to make those decisions.
Yes, no one's situation is exactly the same as their neighbor, their coworker, their best friend, and they all need to have their own strategy in place. There's not some magic formula that will work for everybody. It's really sitting down with somebody, an advisor, and mapping it out for you and your spouse, your children, right? Let's get to number 4.
Number 4, we see people retiring and they have given no thought as to what are they going to do next in the next phase of their life. What am I going to do?
It seems simple,
It does.
but it's overlooked a lot, and it's really half of the planning part. What are you retiring to?
We feel like psychiatrists sometimes walking or talking people off the ledge as they've retired and now they don't know what to do. They don't have that work, that need anymore. What am I going to do next?
Filling their life with purpose, and even that social aspect.
That's right.
They miss out on a lot. All right. The 5th, what is the next retirement mistake?
Well, the next mistake is we've all gone through a very strong period here in the markets, and people are anticipating that's going to continue throughout their retirement. So as an example, someone last year maybe made 80, 90, 100,000 in the market, and they think that's going to continue for the rest of their retirement when in fact we know what goes up can come down.
Yes, and it does come down, and it's healthy when it does come down.
It is.
But it's being strategic of where you're pulling that income from your investment, so you don't have to sell extra shares because the price is going down to make up for that. So that goes back to the planning part.
That's it. And when you do your planning, you want to be conservative in your projections for returns just in case it doesn't work out.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of retirement, when is your retirement?
Well, I think I'm going to haunt you probably till I'm about 90.
Probably.
Yeah, I'll be here a long time.
We'll give you busy work at that point.
Thank you.
Well, thanks for joining us
My
today.
pleasure.
We are here. We are getting ready for our next Strong Retirement Club Roundtable. If you're interested in the club, our kickoff night is in June, and we're having wine tasting for that night. So message me, go to my website, jessicaweaver.com, if you want more information on the Strong Retirement Club. Bye.